Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our presentation on the new PSA ERP accounting. I am Scott Pritchard, and I'm the president and founder of Can-Am Systems. I will spend the next 30 minutes taking you on a tour of the newest cloud-based accounting solution. Because our time this morning is short, I'll be giving an overview of the new interface and a 10,000-foot view of the application and some of its great new features. So let's get right to it. This new accounting system will be completely hosted by our Amazon server farm. It will integrate to all of our cloud-based platforms, Proven Job Management, Proven CRM, Proven Smart Reports, and Proven Smart Tech Mobile. We'll have a user interface based on the same platform as our Proven CRM. So what are the advantages of the new accounting platform? Elimination of the need for an in-house server, no more having to worry about ransomware threatening your data, no more having to worry about offsite backups and whether you can recover from it. No more having to worry about server downtime, automatic version upgrades while you sleep, unlimited data storage, mobile and web platforms that you can access from anywhere with internet, unprecedented data security, data analytics that was simply unavailable on the desktop, and a clean, uncluttered new interface with powerful search capabilities. PSA ERP runs your internet from your internet browser and starts with a simple bookmarked login page. Notice the icon panel down the left-hand side is a hidden panel. By simply clicking on the icon at the top, the module panel opens up with full descriptions of each area of the software. You can minimize this simply by clicking on the red button again. There are more modules than you'll find in today's PSA desktop. The quick list is as follows: dashboard, sales and receivables, purchasing and payables, customers, vendors, employees, general ledger, banking, jobs, inventory, reports, preferences, and analytics. Let's start with dashboard. This is a user-definable space that allows each user to apply a live widget for a quick view of the data that is most important to you. It can be as simple as a glance at your business today, or a look at critical information that helps you make a decision for that moment. Each widget comes with predefined parameters for changing how the data is displayed. Now, tomorrow at 11:30, I'll be doing a presentation on defining financial dashboards. I'll be building widgets in the analytics module and posting them to a live dashboard. Okay, so sales and receivables. What you'll notice as we moved into these legacy modules, like sales and receivables, is that we no longer display the submenus in the center of the screen. Submenus are listed across the top. As pull-down menus, another significant difference is that when you select a submenu, instead of showing you the last record created, we display a list of all the records. We then give you the tools to find the record that you want quickly and easily. A common feature in the software is that we have clickable headers that change the direction of the sort. So ascending to descending, simply clicking on the header will change the sort order of your columns and of your data. System-wide filter bars allow you to narrow down the search. So if I put in, maybe on the drop-down, I have a drop-down with criteria. If I say contains, and then I put in Can-Am, will sort and give me a list of all the Can-Am, in this case, invoices. You should note that this new interface, you can add and remove columns on all the lookup screens. So if we go to Tools and click on Show Column, not only will we see that we can remove columns from this display or add them, but that we can drag and drop these columns to sort the screen the way we want it to look visually. Another new feature is the filter button. Here we can add a custom feature to the data set. Simply click on some of the criteria. In this case, I'm going to say company, where company contains space T. And I'll do a quick search. And there's, now, if this is a common search, I can actually save this criteria, and it will be one that I can select off this menu anytime I want. So a quick search that's predefined. I'm going to clear the filters. And I want to mention one more thing. On this little filter button, when you have saved filters, it will put in red a number. So if I have one saved filter, it will put 1. If I have 2, it will put 2. Also, I want to show you the new quick access to transactions. So there's a button at the top center of the screen with a plus sign called New. And if you click on this, you'll see that you can launch and create an invoice, order, quote, voucher, customer, or vendor on the fly without going to the specific module to do so. I also want to show you that we have a tool similar to the tool in most browsers that allow you to go back to a previous record or forward to the last record. So if I want to see what I was previously on or access something, I could do that, or simply move forward back to the display that I was on previously. So let's go into Invoices. I'm simply going to click on an invoice. I click on the Details button. And what you'll see right away is a very different look. And you'll see at the end of a lot of these fields are magnifying glasses. So if I click on a magnifying glass, what I'll see is it drills down into that table and allows me to either create a new record, edit the existing record, or select the one I want. We've also added a new Actions button. Now this Actions button replaces the button bars at the bottom of our screens. So here you can see the post on all of the other buttons that were available on the bottom of our old PSA desktop. So let's look a little further on this invoice. We'll see that with a quick scroll of my mouse, I can scroll and view the entire invoice, okay, rather than use the scroll bars on the side. I can see all the line items, all the header information. And from here, I want to show you very quickly how easy it is on the line items to select inventory items. I simply click on the inventory box, find the item I want through any of the filters that are on here, and select that item. You'll also notice that we've moved the recap button to the left-hand side of the screen. And what you'll see when we open the new recap button, how clear the information is, including a balance column that we've added to this screen, and a proper description for the accounts. Now, once the invoice is ready to be posted, you simply go to the Action button. You're going to click on the Post button. And once it's posted, it'll put the word posted in red in the top left-hand corner. Now, another feature that's similar to the old desktop is that once we've posted something, that button is changed and now is an unpost button. So I click on the unpost, I can quickly unpost this transaction. Okay, let's look at some of the other items. Now, orders and quotes have an almost identical screen. That really doesn't need for us to go into those areas. But let's look at the deposits. So I'm going to go into receivables. Again, in here, you can see the same kind of list screen. You can see that I can select by putting a tick in the first column on this screen, and it will automatically fill the total amount of that invoice for the deposit. Now I can accept a partial payment. I could include a discount that would adjust what was being paid, or a service charge could be applied if you were trying to recoup money from credit card processing. The other thing I do quickly, so once I select a number of these, I can select a credit to go with that and another invoice, and I would select the payment method. In this case, let's say they all came in by checks. And at that point, I'm ready to move forward, click on the Action button and click on Post. So very simple to use screen. This screen would be used for if you had multiple checks from different companies. This would be the quickest way to process them. Now we changed the Edit Receivables to Post Receivables. And what we'll see again, if I click on New Record, I'm going to select a customer from here. We'll select our famous Can-Am Property Management Company. And what you see on here is a list now of all the outstanding invoices and credit notes or prepayments for this customer. Okay. Now, again, this works the same way. If I put a little tick in the first column, it puts the full amount in. I can apply a discount or service charge. What I like about this screen, this new screen, is the ability to drill down to get the information. If you're not sure that this is the right invoice that's being paid, you can click on the View button. It will take you to, if there's a partial payment, it'll take you to view the history, but it'll also allow you to drill down right into the invoice. So here we get to see the details of that invoice, okay? And I can confirm whatever I need. Simply clicking on close and close again takes me right back to that screen. I don't have to leave the screen to get all the information I need. So also in here, you can do customer prepayments. Again, it's not much different from the old system. If I click on a new record, I can put in my prepayment and save and close and go from there. We also have the finance charges. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail because I literally only have 30 minutes today. So again, we would find the ability to set up our finance charges and apply them to outstanding invoices. I'll quickly mention the taxes. We've split the taxes into two areas: sales tax codes, which are the lowest level of taxes, and a sales tax feature, which is where you can select the taxes that apply to the codes that you'll see on invoices or vouchers. Okay, so here I've created one for two types of taxes. So I wanted to combine a federal and a state tax into a single tax. So I brought the two tax rates in, which made it 21%, maybe a vision into the future. And that's the simplest way to deal with any type of tax structure that you have. Okay, recurring transactions, again, very similar. We have each transaction, recurring transaction, is on a single line. You don't have to look through the multiple lines we had in the desktop. And again, clicking on the details tab will allow you to come in here, edit, change, modify, and delete any of the information, and then update. Okay, and the batch post sales, for those that are doing batch posting, has a much cleaner and much simpler screen, much easier to use. Okay, let's jump quickly into purchasing and payables. Again, we see a list here of all the vouchers. We're in the default voucher section, but under the pull-down menu, you'll see that we have purchase orders, purchase order close, automated purchasing, and so on throughout for each of the pull-down menus that exist. Also, that's slightly different is in the purchasing and payables, we have the electronic funds transfer that's set up in the payment. I'm just going to quickly drill down into a voucher. I want to show you the slight difference that would appear on a voucher screen. Again, we still see the magnifying glasses and all the information that we need. We see the action button at the top with all of the choices that we have, and then the line items down below. And of course, the biggest difference here is we're going to start to see things like double line, single line, description only. Those also exist in Invoice, and the ability to do a recap just like an invoice as well. Okay, so I won't go into too much detail. Very, very similar. I think from here, I would like to just touch on probably payables and the difference on the payable screen. So let me just go into there. We'll click on payables, and I think what you'll notice right away is a difference is that there's a column at the end, the on hold column, that makes it different from the receivable screen. And again, the next check number. So you would assign the next check number, select the vouchers that you want to pay. Again, you can partially pay or fully pay, or you can add interest charges or a discount. And if there's term discounts that you're taking, they would appear in the discount column automatically. And again, we have post payables works exactly the same way. I'm going to take you just quickly into vendor prepayments. We can create a new record. Again, in here, like the prepayments in the receivables, I can select all the information I need. I have to put in a check number. And then when I go to post this, it'll take me into a check run and print a check for me. Okay, I'm going to jump into customers. What you'll see on customers is that there are two pull-down menus. Customer, of course, is a normal one. The customer contact lookup, or the contact lookup, is something completely new for this version. And what that is that when you click on contact lookup, it will display all of the contacts for all the customers in the customer file. So you no longer have to go into a specific customer to look up a contact. And if you don't know who the customer is, it becomes even more difficult in the old system. Now you can simply use any of the filter bars, any of the filter fields and filter bars that are here to do a quick search and find the contact that you want without knowing who the customer is. So let's quickly look at customers. Again, we'll see that it's auto-populated with all the customers in here. I can do quick search and sorts to get the customer however I want to find them. In this case, I think we're going to put in 1-800-BUSY-DOG. Again, what we see in here is pretty straightforward. I wanted to talk just quickly about the contact methods. It's fairly new in terms of how it appears on the screen. I can click on a new contact method, and it will give me the phone that I want. Let's say I'm going to take phone 1. Again, it can be formatted completely. So in here, I'm just going to put in a quick phone number. What I want to show you is that the view button is how this is set up now. Instead of a pencil button, you can pick any of the contact methods that you want, click on details, add that in, go to the mask. You can set up a specific mask for that contact method. Now, what you'll also see here in the customer is the standard tabs that existed in the old system. So detail, again, we see financial information, we see customer history, log notes, the history tab, which will give us all of the invoices for that particular customer. Let me go back and pick a customer that has some data in it. Go to history. We see all the invoices, all the history. I can see payments. I can see orders, quotes, or jobs. It also has special pricing. So if a customer is offered any special pricing, it can be stored in here with a date range. Again, the contacts tab, which we've just gone through before, and the documents. Of course, documents will hold both pictures and documents. I can attach a specific picture to pop up, or a document which will appear at the bottom of the screen in whatever format it is, Word, PDF, and so on. The other thing that's unusual on the screen now is there's a year-to-date bar, okay? So currently this is just showing year-to-date numbers, total invoices, total paid, total balance, total number of invoices. But this year-to-date button will become clickable, and you'll be able to select other things such as with a date range, like last week, last month, last quarter. Okay, I want to take you quickly into vendors. Now, vendors is very similar to the customer file, so I'm not going to go through all the stuff. We'll see the year-to-date bar. We can see all of the other things that are normal. If I look at the details tab for vendors, you're going to see not only the general information, but financial. And then, of course, licenses. So this is where you would put your WSIB or contractor's license. This is where you define whether this was a subcontractor under a 1099 or in Canada, T5018, okay? All the rest of those tabs will be virtually the same. Again, when you go into vendor history, you can see payments, purchase orders, and work orders, as well as your vouchers. Okay, action buttons, again, are the same. They allow you to do very quickly all the things you need to do from the action button. We'll go now to employees. Again, I won't spend much time. The employees is very similar to customers and vendors. We can see the biggest difference maybe is in the detail tab, again, general information, employee history, and then any licenses or certificates the employee may have. Okay, degrees or education also going to be stored in here as well. So let's move on to general ledger. Now, the first thing we see again is a list of all the GL accounts. Again, filter bars making it easy to find any account that you want. The GL, of course, is the core module, and everything in accounting is built around it. The general ledger, we have pull-down menus. We see a number of different menu items, so we can see here accounting periods, general ledger, budget duplication, chart of accounts, and so on. Transactions, we see the recurring and batch, and then the regular tools that we had, financial analysis, financial ratios, cash flow analysis, and of course at the end we have default settings. And again, in the default settings, it's very similar laid out to the old one. By module, sales, purchases, inventory, receivables, all the default accounts that you would need to have set up before running the system. Well, let me just take you through a few of these. I want to start with budget duplication. So in the budget duplication, again, this allows you to take a budget from a previous year and duplicate it with either a fixed percentage or a fixed dollar amount being added on to give you a current budget for the current year. The chart of accounts, of course, where most of us spend our days, is laid out by the balance sheet accounts first, asset, liability, equity, and then by the P&L or income statement, income, COGS, expense, and other income and other expense. Again, if you drill down into one of these accounts, click on the details button. From the actions button, you can go to GL detail, and it will display the entire history of that GL. Now you can filter it by date, You can filter it by any other of the information that's sitting in here, but you can also drill down to look at the actual journal entry. So if I click on this batch number, I can drill down and see the specific journal entry that was created from that transaction. Let's moving forward. I won't go into close fiscal year. It's pretty straightforward. Default accounts, we've already touched on. General journal, I'm just going to touch on quickly. If I want to create a new record in a general journal, I would put in the date, the currency, any notes that I want. When I click Save and Close, it creates a space for me now to put in the journal entry. So I can add a specific journal entry in here with a debit and credit, and I can attach it to a job and so on, and also by location. Okay. Again, the action button allowing you to post, unpost, add, delete, duplicate, reverse, and of course from the payroll side to import payroll journals. Last thing in here I want to show in the general ledger is the asset management. So let's pick up an item in here. I don't know what I've got. So we're going to click on the details for our Chevy truck. And of course in here we can see all of the information about that vehicle. I can see things like current depreciation, original capital cost, the date purchased, the year of the truck. I can see things like tax classes. I can also look at specific categories, years of life, rental costs. If I'm looking at a DU, I can set rental costs per day. And of course, if we jump into the asset status, that's where you would run the depreciation entry for your amortization. Let's move on to the banking. Again, I'm a little short of time, so I'm going to go through this as quickly as I can. Some of the things I just want to touch on, again, all the pull down menus. So you've got all the bank accounts with write checks for miscellaneous checks or one-time checks, make withdrawals for your debit card transactions or your electronic funds transactions, and miscellaneous deposits for things that aren't in your receivables. Also the credit card, you have all of the credit card charges and returns. We also have full bank reconciliation that allows you to not only reconcile your banks, but also your credit cards. Okay, so let's just have a quick look. Let's go into something like make withdrawals. In here, I can click on the new record and I can see all of the things that are in here. I would select the bank account that I want. So it's going to come out of this bank account. Currency, I would put in any reference. I could put in an amount. Let's put in here, I could put a dollar amount in. Then I click on the new line and add in my journal entry part of this withdrawal. Okay, so what's the expense going to be for this transaction? Similar in make deposits, get a few different accounts. In here, we're going to see select the bank account, the payment method, the amount, memo, and so on, and save and close. I'm going to quickly touch on inventory because we're running out of time. We have a simplified inventory. So if I click down on this specific item, just to show you, gives me the full inventory information. It's going to give me the GL account impact, all the inventory pricing, and stock information. Of course, I can go to the detail tab, and in here see things that relate to the manufacturer, to whether it's stock or non-stock, expected dates or length of lead times and UPC codes and so on. I can attach a picture to it. It's not quite what I thought that item was going to look like. And of course, you have the multi-level pricing. And the change to multi-level pricing is we now have promotional pricing that's built in. So this is very important for the people that have maybe a carpet cleaning business or flooring business that's separate, and you need to do some promotional pricing on those products. The last thing I'll touch on today is preferences. I want to go to the preference section and see that this is where you set up everything, all the preferences for your system. And it's been laid out in a very clear and concise fashion. So when you look down here at some preferences, here's my AR, AP, GL inventory, all the preferences that are set out for them in a very logical and clear format that allow you to quickly go through and set up all the preferences that you want for the entire system. Okay, so I think at this point, I just wanted to mention that the jobs are directly linked to proven job management. So there are functions that you would do in here like complete work orders, work order invoice, AR action, time card entry, and then of course all the calculation screens that are done outside of proven job management. So the WIP calculator, WIP revenue, payroll transfer, and so on. All of that data comes from proven job management. Okay, so I think at this point, we've run out of time. I hope everybody has gained some insight into this exciting new product. In the coming months, we'll be adding a few more final touches, gearing up for the companies that signed up for the beta testing. Also, I want to just remind you again, don't forget tomorrow at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, I'll be presenting Defining Financial Dashboards. This will be a dive into the analytics module here in Improvement Solutions Accounting, or PSA ERP. And we'll be building widgets for the dashboard and giving you a better insight into how all of that functions. So thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the conference.